हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाये नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ओम नमः शिवाय। 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 नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम। हरि ओम। We'll begin with the dhyana shloka. मौन व्याख्या प्रकटित परब्रह्म तत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्ठान्तेव सदृशगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीढे वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषण्णं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि। चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु चिन्न संशयाः। निधये सर्वविद्यानां विशजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We shall chant the first three shlokas. Vishvam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यत्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत्कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यत्साक्षात्करणान् भवेन्न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। हरि ओम। So Bhagwan Shri Adi Shankaracharya Ji has written this most fascinating, most beautiful stotra, Shri Dakshinamurty Stotram, in which Bhagwan gives the very gist of the teachings of Vedanta, the teachings conveyed in Upanishads. So in the first shloka itself, Bhagwan indicates that Atma is Advaya, our own self, that supreme self is Advaya, is one without a second. Means there is nothing other than that self, and this whole world is just present in the self alone. The world is not different from the self. The world is not different from Atma. The world is seen as an image in a mirror. So the image is not different from that mirror. It appears in the mirror and disappears in the mirror. Similarly, the whole world appears in the self and disappears in the self. by the power of the self alone. So the power is like like magic. The whole world exists in it, like a seed in which the whole tree exists and is projected and again withdrawn. So Ishvara, that Atma, which is Brahma, who is Ishvara, projects this world like a magician or like a great yogi. So world being not different from that supreme self, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So the world is also Satyam only. The world is also Satyam. World is not Asat. World is not Mithya. World is Satyam. And that is very clearly mentioned in the third shloka here. Ki yasyeva spuranam sadatmakam. This whole world is the spuranam, the expression of that supreme Brahma. It is just the throb of that supreme. Yasyeva spuranam, and what is the nature of this world? Sadatmakam. It is of the nature of Sat, means it is existence. Its very core, its very essence is that pure self alone. But when we talk about the world, one is the world which we see with our senses, and another is the world which we understand with our buddhi. So the world which we see with our senses constantly change. But the same world understood with our buddhi, we come to know that it is Brahma. So as Brahma, it is Sat. And that is what is the meaning of the term Sadatmakam. It is of the nature of Sat. But outwardly, it appears to be constantly changing. So this world, bhasate, it appears. How does it appear? Asat kalpartakam. It appears asat. It appears constantly changing. Never same. That is the very nature of the expression of this world. And it appears to be imaginary. It appears to be existing or imagination of our own mind. Because it is experienced through our senses, the senses are experienced in our antakkarana only. So the whole world is experienced in our antakkarana. So it is like an imagination, like a dream. That is how it appears. But what is it really? It is really Sat. Just like a shell appears like silver. That is the very nature of its appearance. It shines due to the reflection of the light of the sun. It shines like silver. So a shell shining like silver is the very nature of that shell. It appears like silver. But what is it really? Really, it is a shell. Similarly, this world appears to be changing, appears to be imaginary. But what is it really? It is really that Brahma, Satyam. This is very important to understand. Because many people, they think that the world is just an illusion. It is not an illusion. It is not something which is created by our own mind, nor created by somebody else's mind. It is the expression of that Supreme Brahma alone. See, like a rope is there, which appears like a snake. That snake is just an illusion in my mind. That there is actually a snake is just an illusion in my mind. That illusion in my mind is called a mithya. It is a wrong knowledge. But outside there is a rope which looks like a snake. So rope looking like a snake is the very nature of that rope. The rope will not look like a buffalo. There must be some similarity. Like a rope is there, it will look like a snake. It will not look like a horse. It will not look like a mountain. So many people think that this world is like a snake on a rope, that there is that supreme reality Brahma, and we have imagined a world on that Brahma. But that is totally a false understanding. Because there is nothing there is no similarity between Brahma and the world. If you have to imagine a snake on a rope, then there must be some similarity between the rope and snake. But really speaking, there is no similarity between Brahma and the world. Brahma is totally different. There are no names, no forms, there are no colors. So in a totally dissimilar Brahma, how can I imagine a world? Also, if you have to imagine a snake on a rope, you must have seen a snake, real snake before. When we have seen a real snake before, it creates an impression in our mind, a memory. And then when we see a rope looking like a snake, we mistake it for a real snake. So in order to have that mistake, we should have the experience of it before, of the real thing. So if somebody says that this world is illusion created by my mind, like a snake on a rope, then that is not rational, that is not logical. For that, there should be some real world somewhere about which I have an impression and I mistake Brahma for that world. So the whole idea that the world is illusion is totally false, totally wrong. And that idea is there in many people's mind. They mistake the teachings of Upanishad as conveying that the world is an illusion. World is mithya, world is not there. That is totally wrong. And here it is presented very beautifully. The world is the spuranam of that Brahma, and it is sadatmakam, it is real, but appears to be constantly changing, appears imaginary, but it is real. So yasyeva spuranam sadatmakam asat kalpartakam bhasate. That is how it is. So that is the very nature of our own supreme self. Our own self alone expresses as this world. Our own supreme self expresses as all the beings. Everything exists in me. I am that supreme Brahma. That is the fact. But due to ignorance, I consider myself as a limited being, having misunderstanding about myself and the world around me. And because of this, I suffer, I have sorrow, pain, and all different sufferings which are called samsara. So what is the upaya? What is the solution? How can I become free of all this suffering, free of all my sorrows, free of all bondage? I can become free by gaining that self-knowledge. And to gain that self-knowledge, I have to surrender to a teacher. I have to approach an enlightened teacher. So that is what is said in this second line. कि साक्षात तत्वमसि इति वेद वचसा यो बोधयति आश्रिताम. Ashritam means one who surrenders to a teacher who is like Dakshinamurty, one who just wants only that self-knowledge and nothing else. Like we have in Kathopanishad the story of Nachiketa surrendering to Yamarajji. Yamarajji offered him lot of other goodies. Yamarajji said, I will give you a long life. I will give you a lot of wealth. You can become the sole king of this entire world. I will give you pleasures which are not available even on earth, the pleasures which are available in the heavens. But please don't ask about self-knowledge. Nachiketa said, I don't want anything else. I just want to gain self-knowledge, nothing else. I don't want pleasures, I don't want wealth, I don't want all long life, because all these are temporary. They're part of this world. What I want to know is my own supreme self, which is different from dharma and adharma, which is different from past and future, which is different from cause and effect. That supreme self I want to know from you. So Yamarajji then teaches him that self-knowledge. Similarly here, when a person approaches the teacher teaches. So how does the teacher teach? What is the final instruction, the final teaching given by the teacher? That is the Mahavakya. Sakshat Tatvamasiti Veda Vachasa Yo Bodhayati. The teacher teaches Bodhayati. Bodhayati makes us understand. So the teacher already knows. We don't know. We have to understand. This self-knowledge we have to first acquire with the help of our buddhi. Because all confusion is in our buddhi. The adhyas or wrong knowledge is in the buddhi. Therefore that adhyas is defined as atasmin tad buddhihi. It is wrong knowledge, misunderstanding. So we have to first gain that understanding with the help of our buddhi. That is the first step. Means about our own self, about that supreme Brahma, we have to know with the help of the buddhi. Therefore, in order to make the buddhi fit, qualified to gain this knowledge, we have to do the initial sadhana of karma yoga, of upasana, of shravan, manan, so that the buddhi becomes absolutely pure, the buddhi becomes absolutely single-pointed, clean, so that we can grasp the teachings given by the teacher. So the teacher finally teaches us bodhayati Veda Vachasa. The teacher uses the words of the scriptures. The Shastras, the eternal Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, the Itihas, they are the words of the Vedas, the words of Ishvara, the eternal words. So with the help of these words, the teacher conveys the teaching. See, if we want to convey something, we need a language. We need words, we need to use sentences so that I can convey what I want to tell you. But different fields, they have their own different technical language. So you have to know them, those words properly. Like in the field of astronomy, astrophysics, they have their own terms. They are talking about the world only, but they use such terms which if we don't know, we will be totally lost. They talk about supernova, they talk about what you call gas giants, red stars, white dwarfs, nebulas. Recently, the great beautiful image was sent by James Webb telescope about a very tiny little portion of the universe. A portion so small, if you hold a sand grain in your hand and look at it from a distance, take your arms up in space and just look at that sand grain, it will cover a certain portion of the space. That much portion of space was, a photograph was taken of that much portion of space, and it contains so many galaxies, nebulas, white dwarfs, stars which are taking birth, stars which are dying, so many exoplanets. It's amazing. So if you want to know about that field, you have to know all the technical words and all. Then you will be able to understand. Similarly, if we want to know about our own self, about that Brahma, we need special language, we need special words which can convey the subtle nature of that Supreme. And those words are there in our Shastras. They cannot be easily translated in any other language. The Shastras not only give us those words, they give us the technique by which we can comprehend that Supreme. So the teacher makes use of those words to convey. Therefore, in the Upanishad, it is said the teacher should be Shrotriyam and Brahmanishtham. Shrotriyam means one who has the knowledge of the Shastras. And Brahmanishtham is one who is well established in that Brahma. So Shrotriyam is very important. Otherwise, a person may gain enlightenment due to past samskars and all. But if those words are not there, we will not be able to convey this teaching to to his disciples, to his followers, to others. It will not be communicated. So Veda Vachasa, using the words of the Vedas, the teacher communicates, and finally he uses that one great sentence, the Mahavakya, the greatest of sentence in the Vedas, in the Upanishad, called Mahavakya, to convey the final teaching. And what is that Mahavakya? There are many Mahavakyas, but here in this Shloka, Bhagwan mentions that one Mahavakya, which is very, very powerful, very interesting, and that is Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi. Only 3 words are there in this Mahavakya. Tat Tvam Asi. The teacher tells the student directly. He says Tat. Tat means that. Tvam. Tvam means you. Asi means are. Means you are that. You are that. That is the meaning of this sentence. But this sentence has to be understood properly. So the teacher first tells the student about the meaning of the term that. And the teacher also conveys through his teaching the meaning of the term Tvam, you. So when the meaning of that and you are understood properly, when the teacher says you are that, then that understanding happens in me. When I listen to the teacher telling me you are that understanding happens. Now, though this is a very simple, very small sentence, it is also misunderstood by many. They make it so complex that a normal person will not be able to then understand it properly. It is a simple sentence, you are that, in which I have to know that, I have to know you, whom the teacher is referring to. And the whole meaning will become very clear. But then there are those scholars and all who uses so many other technical terms and make it so complex that it becomes very difficult to comprehend this Mahavakya. They use terms like Jahal Lakshana, Ahajahal Lakshana, Jahala Jahal Lakshana, Bhagatyaga Lakshana. So after going through all the technical details of how to understand this statement, which is conveyed by so many other scholars, finally we will not gain anything. We will not understand anything. It will be so confusing that we will just give up. But it's a very beautiful, simple sentence. So first, in this, we have to understand the meaning of the term that. That means it appears it's far away. We are pointing out to something far away. That is conveyed, this term indicates that Supreme Brahma, which is pointed out as that in the beginning. And that Brahma is also taught to us through taking the help of this world, because the world and Brahma is connected. World and Brahma are related. through the world, the Brahma is indicated. Because there is a connection. What connection? Connection of effect and cause. Karya Karana Sambandha. Connection of effect and cause. So in order to teach about that Brahma, the scripture starts with the world only. Because that is where we are. That is what we are experiencing. I am experiencing this world. If you talk about God or talk about something else, it's just a concept. For me, the world is directly present in front of me and which is experienced through all my senses, which I can touch, I can taste, I can smell, I can hear. So the world is very much there in front of me. So I am there, I experience my own existence, and I am experiencing the existence of this world. Even a little child knows this. The child knows about its own existence. Child knows the existence of the world. If it hears something, it looks. It wants to see. If it gets some object, it will just pick it up, put it in its mouth, taste it, bang it on the floor to hear the sound, smell it, look at it. So we experience this world, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. And the scriptures want to teach us about that Brahma. So the scripture says this world, from where it has come, where it is existing, and where it will again merge back, that is Brahma. Janmadhyasya yataha. What is Brahma? Brahma is that entity, that object, that reality from whom the world has come into existence, in whom the world remains, and in whom the world again merges back. So from the world, we have to go to the cause of this world as that Brahma. So when we look at this world, it is made up of these 5 elements which are experienced through our senses. So they are experienced together. Like if I see some object, I can experience that object with all my senses. I can see, hear, taste, touch an object. So it is made up of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. So those Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha also must have come from their cause, which are the Tan Matras, where the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha are separate, are not mixed up. So the cause of these 5 elements are the 5 Tan Matras. Again, these 5 elements are seen, experienced through my senses. The senses themselves are functioning because of the mind. Because of the mind only we come to understand what is conveyed through the senses. The mind is comprehended by our buddhi. Whatever we comprehend with our mind, it remains in us as samskar, as memory. And when we go to sleep and all, everything gets unmanifest. So the scripture, through this cause and effect theory, explains to us that this world made up of these 24 different parts have emerged from the eightfold Prakriti, the Ashtatha Prakriti. And I experience this world, I see, hear, taste, touch, I gain knowledge. I express through my mind, through my intellect, and all the activities happen in this world. That is expression of the Prakriti called Para Prakriti, which is the prana. So this both Para and Apara Prakriti is the Shakti, is the very Prakriti of that Brahma. And that Brahma, when we come to comprehend that Brahma as it is, there are no qualities in that Brahma. There is no Shabda, there is no Sparsha, there is no Rupa, Rasa, Gandha in Brahma. There are no pranas in Brahma. There is no mind in Brahma. There is no intellect in Brahma. Aprano, Yamano, Shubhraha, like that the Upanishad convey about this Brahma. So through cause and effect, the Brahma is indicated, and then it is conveyed as Satyam Jnanam Anantam, as pure existence, pure knowledge, infinite. That Brahma, which we can understand, appreciate with the help of our Shuddha intellect, with the help of our pure intellect, that Brahma which we will be able to comprehend with the help of intellect, which is also in Bhagavad Gita called Neya Brahma, Neyam Yattat Pravakshami. So when we comprehend that Brahma through the teachings of the Upanishad, the teacher then tells us that that Brahma which you have understood, that Brahma which you have comprehended, you are that Brahma. So after understanding that Brahma intellectually, I have to also understand who am I. Who is this I who is Brahma? So again the teacher teaches me to locate this I with the help of various techniques of distinguishing, discrimination, viveka. The teacher helps me to locate this I by analyzing the three bodies, Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira, by analyzing the three states of experience, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, by analyzing the five koshas, Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay Kosh, Vijnanamay Kosh, Anandamay Kosh, the teacher helps me to locate myself within this whole personality. I have to locate myself. I am the witness of the Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. I am the witness of all the thoughts and emotions. I am the one who is different from the Stula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, from the Pancha Koshas. So through various techniques of thinking, analyzing, the teacher conveys to me that I am the one who is experienced separate from all this body mind in my deep sleep. When I am in deep sleep, dreamless sleep, I experience myself as I really am. When I am in the waking state, I experience myself along with the body, along with the mind, along with so many other factors. So what I experience in the waking is not the pure nature of my own self. I experience myself along with other things, along with the upadhis, along with all the other conditionings. In dream also I experience myself along with the conditionings. But in deep sleep I experience myself as I am. So that I, which I experience in my deep sleep, that I am Brahma. The Brahma which is indicated through this cause and effect. The Brahma which is indicated as the very source from where the whole world comes into existence. The whole world is sustained, the whole world gets dissolved. That Brahma am I. Not the I of the waking, not the I of the dream, because it is I of waking and dream are associated with the upadhis. But the I free from all upadhis, which is experienced in deep sleep, that I am Brahma. So the teacher, after teaching everything, finally conveys to the student that you means that Sushupta Atma, who is also indicated in Bhagavad Gita as Kshetrajna, that or as Pradnya, that is what I am really. So the teacher points out to that me and says, you are Brahma. So the teacher is talking to the Kshetrajna. When we approach a teacher in the beginning, the teacher speaks to the Jagrat, to the waker, to the waking self, to the self associated with the body, mind. Therefore, the teacher teaches me the path of Karma Yoga, path of Upasana. But as I keep learning, as I keep doing my sadhana, I come to know that I am much deeper than what I really think myself to be. And finally, I come to know myself as the Kshetrajna, as the Sushupta Atma. And to that Sushupta Atma, the teacher then finally conveys that you are Brahma. So when I listen to this, when I hear this, and hold on to it, contemplate on it, I will gain that understanding that yes, aham brahmasmi, that I am Atma Brahma, this Atma is Brahma, and finally I will gain that understanding, free from all doubts, that aham brahmasmi, I am that Brahma. So once I gain that firm understanding, free from all doubts that I am Brahma, I have to hold on to that understanding and drop all other ideas, thoughts, images coming to the mind, drop everything else and hold on to this understanding that I am Brahma. Soham, aham brahmasmi. So holding on to that understanding that I am Brahma, to the exclusion of all other thoughts and all other understanding, is what is called nididhyasan, is what is called the practice of jnana nishtha. So the teacher's role is to teach me Tattvamasi. So I do Shravan of this Vakya taught to me by the teacher. Then I have to contemplate and understand it subjectively, not as a theory. See, many people, they understand Vedanta as a theory, as a concept, as some idea, using some technical words and all. Even they use this word consciousness, this word has become very famous, everyone uses. Pure consciousness and this and that. But what is understood by this term is just chetana, just expression of our own mind. Chetana is not Chaitanya. Chetana is also the nature of this mind and intellect only. Therefore, in Gita, Bhagavan calls Chetana as Kshetra. Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, Sanghatas, Chetana, Tratihi, Etat, Kshetram Samasena. So, what generally people understand as consciousness is Chetana. But that Chit, Jnanam is Chaitanya. So we have to understand what the teacher conveys through this Mahavakya Tattvamasi and meditate on that as Aham Brahmasmi. This Aham, I am Atma, the Kshetrajna, the Sushupta Atma is that Brahma. I am Brahma. So through this constant meditation, I gain the direct experience and abidance in my own self. That is called Sakshatkar. The Sakshatkar happens. See, like a little child, when the mother wants to make the child sleep, the mother will hold the child. Our traditional mothers, they will hold the child. They will just pace, holding the child in her arms and keep patting the child, keep humming. Mm, mm. So the child actually is awake, but when it listens to this heartbeat of the mother, the rhythmic patting, and the humming. The child slowly gets tuned to the mother's rhythm, but still the child is awake. But suddenly a time comes when the child slowly loses its awareness of the world outside and just falls asleep. Falls asleep. So the teacher is also like a mother who pets us, teaches us this Vedanta, and then hums this Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi. And when we just tune ourselves to this humming of our own mother, guru, we get tuned to that teaching and just we glide into samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, abidance in our own selves, direct sakshatkar of our own self. So yat sakshatkaranat bhavenna punaravrittir bhavambho nidhav. So here it is said that when we do the sakshatkar of our own self, then there is no more coming into this samsara. Na punaravrittir bhavambho nidhav. This whole samsara is like a ambudhi, like a vast ocean, and we are as though fallen into this ocean. And because of our avidya, we keep on coming into this ocean of samsara, experiencing joys and sorrows. Punarpi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shenam. Iha samsare bahu vistare, kripaya pare, pahi murare. Keep coming into this samsara. But when we gain that sakshatkar, that anubhuti, that avagati, then we will no longer come into this samsara, because we will become one with that Brahma. We will become one with everything. Everything is myself. So yat sakshatkaranat bhavenna punaravrittir bhavambho nidhav. So one who does the sakshatkar, there will not be any punaravritti. Punaravritti means rebirth, taking birth again in this samsara. Bhavambho nidhav, in this ocean of samsara. So to such a teacher who gives us this teaching of Tattvamasi and makes us free is Sri Dakshinamurty. He is our own teacher. To that teacher, my namaskar. So Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. So more about this we will see in our next class. Next class will be on Monday. So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to the pravachan again, attentively. Contemplate on it deeply, understand it properly. Remove all false understanding from your mind. All other philosophies, false understanding which we have, it is abandoned. You might be surprised how many false notions you might be carrying, which is preventing us from gaining proper knowledge. And understand this properly. More about this we will see in our next class on Monday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Siyava Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.